retirement. Best idea ever. Thanks for the magic, okay?
Piece of yellow trace over
there. There you go, that's Becky. That's Becky, she can't be straight.
Hang on, okay. But it's a perspective, Becky. Becky's gone.
Where's she gone? Yeah, she's already gone. Okay. So anyway, enjoy that. Okay, and this here is from your friends at ED&E. It's something we want to leave you with.
Well,
that's it.
What? Fantasyland, Hoosier Island, and Hong Kong Disneyland. Next time, I'm going to go down here with little tiny squares of unbuilt Carradine.
There was a lot of that.
But I'll tell you this, if they built any of it, the stock would be 120 a share right now.
Okay, relentless. Okay, all right. And Chris, this is from all your friends in creative, and especially from John George's, from the model shop, and from Bruce. Okay.
Wow.
They made this especially for you. This was done with the rapid prototype printer. Yeah, they actually did 3D sound. Okay.
Nobody was drawing it, right?
So, no. So something for the house.
That's beautiful.
For your, it's a paperweight. Okay.
It's a diving bell.
This would hold down the whole office, wouldn't it?
Okay. And finally, Chris, this is the
finally,
email.
bonus check.
This is the email. This is bonus, yeah. This is Craig Russell's gift to you. Okay. This email came out at 5:10 on Friday night.
It's a bonus.
Wait a minute.
It's just a little late.
Wait a minute. Yeah. About a month and a half too late. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, for starters, this is not an unconventional event.
Everybody settle in.
Yeah. Is everybody got a drink and a pillow? Right? Everybody got a pillow, right? Somebody got a ride home, right? Everybody got no drugs, right? I have Red Bull in my case here, right? You know?
The professor.
The whole idea here was to have fun, because for 28 years I got to have fun. Every morning when I got up and got in the car and came to the office, which I did occasionally, I made the excuse that I was working at home, right? I was working, but you know, the brain works too, right? Do you know how I got started in this company? I actually fired a bunch of people after Carolyn and I had been on a trip to Europe. I came back and I found out that my entire office had been moonlighting on somebody else's work, and my clients weren't getting their projects done. So I fired all these guys who were working for me, and, well, maybe two guys, I guess. And I was combing through the LA Times on a Sunday morning, looking at how to word an ad to hire new draftspeople. And there was a quarter-column advertisement for a concept architect at WED Enterprises. So I cut it out. I still have it. I should have brought it tonight, but I couldn't find it because I have places in my house that look like my office. Anyway, I cut it out and I saved it for a couple of days, and I called an engineer who used to moonlight for me doing my structural engineering. His name was Kent Bingham, right? I called up Kent and I said, "What's this?" And Kent says, "Do you want the job?" And I said, "Well, I'm just calling." He said, "No, you should have this job." I said, "Okay." He said, "However, don't call personnel. You'll never get the job." Right? He said, "And let me talk to the guy you're going to have to interview with first, okay? And then I'll set you up, and then you can go in and see him." The guy I had to interview with was George Rester, the famous right?
George.
Now, previous to that, I had never made a portfolio because I had never interviewed with a portfolio. I had just moved from job to job on word of mouth. So I had to have a portfolio to go to Imagineering. Guess what my portfolio consisted of? I went to my office, rifled the drawers, rolled up everything I could think of, put it in a roll-around trash can, got a haircut and a sport coat, and went to Imagineering with a trash can, rolled the trash can into George's office, and began pulling things out of the trash can and unrolling it with flourish on his desk. The man couldn't stand it. He hired me just so I would leave. So now Carolyn will vouch for this. 2 days later, after I'd gone through disorientation, which was the first day of Imagineering, right? The second day I'd gone through the drafting room, and I was in concept architecture, not in production and engineering, which is where you guys were, and Tori was there as well. And I noted that of 65 desks, there were no architects making drawings. They all had huge piles of 8.5 by 11 paper, which were change orders, which were being processed for all of the buildings at Epcot Center. Somebody else was doing the architecture, but it wasn't being done at Imagineering, right? So I told Carolyn, she'll vouch for this, I said, I'm going to head up architecture at Imagineering. I don't know how long it's going to take, but it's profoundly obvious to me that they haven't got a clue, right? Now, that was an extraordinary observation of a company that had built Disney World and then been on ABC with Huntley and Brinkley, you know, waxing wondrously about how Imagineering should design the future of the world, etc. That's what I wanted to be a part of. But in George's office, that didn't exist. Within 2 years, I had his job, which was pretty cool. Now, how did I get his job? It was great. We worked on Fantasyland together, and Ron Bowman gave me bigger and bigger assignments because I drew kind of fast, right? And because he liked what I was doing on Toad Hall, he gave me Snow White, and I worked on that. I worked on part of Pinocchio, and I worked on a little bit of a corner of the Pinocchio House restaurant, and then I did the Dumbo Band Organ area and all of that. Ron wrote a recommendation to Marty Sklar on my behalf, without me even knowing about it. And about a year later, I got kind of cross-threaded with George, and it looked like the end of the world for me because I had come to work without a tie, wearing blue jeans. And according to George, you couldn't be a professional if you didn't wear a tie and slacks, right?
Or an ascot.
Well, he wore an ascot. You couldn't wear an ascot because that would be copying, y'all, right?
And bring a knife.
So I went to Tony and I said, I don't know what to do, because Tony was always kind of a mentor to a lot of people. The thing I liked about Tony is he really gave me free rein in Fantasyland to do a lot of the work. Tony went to Marty and said, you need to talk to this guy. So he got me an interview with Marty, and I went down and talked to Marty, and Marty put me in show design, which kind of saved me for a little while. And from show design, then everything changed rather remarkably. You know, we were able to work on the French restaurant together, right? And then we invented Pleasure Island, and we went through the whole change of management of the Walt Disney Company, etc. Tony did, on 2 more occasions, saved my career for me. So I owe an incredible debt of gratitude to Tony Baxter, who, in my judgment, is one of the truest of the true Imagineers. He is absolutely a genius, and we can all thank our careers to guys like Tony Baxter, whether or not they directly helped you. He did me. He did twice, because I got cross-threaded another time, not because of my behavior, just because of situations. Tony went to bat for me 2 more times, and I owe a 28-year career to Tony's generosity. Wish he was here in person, but somebody will tell him, right? So, last thing I can say is that the idea that when somebody said, what do you do? And I said, I'm an architect. Oh, what kind of architecture do you do? He said, you know what? I get to design Disneylands. I work for the Walt Disney Company. I'm an Imagineer. People would literally, that was like people would genuflect when you would tell them that, right? What a wonderful adventure to be able to design Disneyland and to be able to be a part of this great company. And I invited you people in particular because you were part of my life in a very genuine way. So this is not just a gesture. This is an evening of great reverence because together we were a company, and that was the company I was a part of. Thank you.